Human Rights Award USA. These are all her accolades. Received the International Woman of the Year from Cambridge, England, IBC in 2012. Received the International Peace Prize from the International Cultural Convention, USA. Received the top 100 Communicators of the World Award, Cambridge, England in 2006. Dr. Stroud has worked over 45 years in the field of peace, compassion, mutual cooperation, and understanding. She was raised in an environment of domestic violence and made the choice to work for peace, harmony, and charity acts of forgiveness and love. Dr. Stroud recently received for the second time the highest award one can receive from the White House, the President's Call to Service Award 2014. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands in welcoming Dr. Sharon Stroud, our keynote speaker. Welcome, Apple. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Isn't he a wonderful MC? Just fabulous. Wonderful. I'll stand here and welcome you and just acknowledge that it's an honor and a privilege to be here. As you know, I'm from California, Palm Springs, California. I usually travel abroad, and so it's so nice to have those of you who travel great distances. I want to acknowledge our Vice President of the International Foundation for World Peace and Research, Professor Dr. Miroslav Prostacic, from all the way from Croatia. Isn't that Zagreb, Croatia? And last April, we presented a conference in Croatia at the university, and their hospitality was absolutely beautiful. So we are so grateful that you made it all the way from Croatia. Another one of our board members from the International Foundation for World Peace and Research, Dr. Edeh Schumann, if you please stand, from Hamburg, Germany. And we're just so grateful that you made it, and you have a commitment for world peace. You have a commitment at Madonna University. Dr. Edeh Schumann is an obstetrician and delivers many, many babies at the university and creates an atmosphere of love and compassion in the clinic, which you'll be hearing more about. And of course, we're so grateful to Father Jehoshaphat for coming from London. And I just recently returned from Switzerland, where I met with the President of the United Nations in Geneva. And I had personally given her a copy of both Father Edeh's books, the Millennium Goals and also the Charity Peace Model. And she's going to put them both in her personal library in Geneva, Switzerland. While I was there, I visited the Human Rights Building, I visited the World AIDS Center, and I visited the immigration housing. And it was so moving to be in an energy where world peace is really the foundation from where they spring forth from that country. So that was also an honor and a privilege to be there and feel that energy and to extend the Charity Peace Model to the President of the United Nations European Sector, Dr. Carolyn Hanshin. And I also sent a copy of the Charity Peace Model to the United Nations in New York City to Kai Ban Moon. Received a letter saying that he very much appreciated and valued the book, and he was putting it in his personal library in the United Nations in New York. So I think that these are milestones that one man can make a difference, and we can put that out, because I really feel you can advertise all you want, but the personal experience that I'm sharing with you, the value that I receive. And we know that peace is possible, and it's a very controversial subject. When we were in London presenting at the School of Asian and African Studies, at our hotel, they asked, "What are you speaking on?" And I said, "World peace." And the receptionist, he said, "Impossible!" And I said, "That is your reality, not ours. This is what we are working for and with." And I also gave him, I said, "You need to read this and share this with your friends." And before I left, I gave him a copy of the Charity Peace Model, because I feel that it's the common person also on the ground doing the daily round that needs to feel this energy of mediation, reconciliation, and sacrament. Those to me, of all the things in the book, are so, I revere them. I feel that they are making a tremendous difference. I also know that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy on the planet, and that we give sacred service every day in a myriad of ways just by acknowledging one another. Mother Teresa said, "Peace begins with a smile." And I love that. So when I went back to Palm Springs, and I share many, many times about Father Edeh's work, and one of the things that we do every Sunday in our service is we have a word, and that word is namaste. In the ancient Sanskrit, that means the presence within me salutes the presence within you. And the presence within you salutes the presence within me. And if I am in that place in me and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. It is about the oneness that we come together through what? We come together through our similarities. We grow through our differences. That is wonderful to have the differences, that it's a rainbow. We're all part of a rainbow tribe in the energy of the light. Because remember, in that wonderful sacred word called the Bible, when the rainbow appears, I will remember the everlasting covenant between me and all living beings. That covenant is our oneness. That covenant is where we join together through our similarities and we grow through our differences. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. We grow through our differences. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you're listening. Good.
Yes.
All right. One of the things that I did in London and I do in Palm Springs, that wonderful word, amade. What does it mean?
Model.
What does amade mean? The good that is, right? You need to read that book. You need to read Father Edeh's book, The Good That Is, and his Evo Metaphysics. He talks about amade. Okay. So I want you to turn to the person next to you, shake their hand, and say amade. Okay, you got it. The good within me salutes the good within you, and the good within you salutes the good within me. And if I am in that good place within me, and you are in that good place within you, guess what? There's only one of us. And that oneness prevails. May peace prevail on earth. And so it is. God bless you. And now our esteemed Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you for that very wonderful speech that put us on the right path to this great convention. Thank you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together one more time for us. Thank you, Dr. Kramer. Thank you. All right. That takes us to the next item. Our founder, very Reverend Father Edeh, founded a number of institutions of higher learning, universities, and so many high schools. As we say in Igbo land, they are Catholic, and when we say Catholic, it means large numbers. All right? Yes, so we have so many of such institutions out there in Nigeria, founded by Reverend Father Edeh. And today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are so privileged to have as one of our speakers, the Vice Chancellor of one of those institutions in Nigeria. And when I went to him to request his bio so that I can read it out, and he told me to keep it simple. And guess what? I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to keep it simple. So we have the world peace through Father Edeh's educational institutions. And to talk to us about is Professor Emmanuel Ezedum, the Vice Chancellor of Madonna University, one of the institutions. Please put your hands together for Professor Ezedum. Do you need this or you are using that one? What microphone would you prefer? Use this one. Very good. Again, put your hands together for Professor Ezedum, the Vice Chancellor of Madonna University.
From Nigeria.
Exactly. From Nigeria. Exactly. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
I have to thank Beyonce for the great job he's already doing. And we go straight to the topic, which says, what is through Father Edeh's educational institutions? An exposition of Professor Edeh's giant strides in peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building through education. Okay. Maybe we'll start with the abstract. That may give us an idea of what the paper is all about. This paper highlights the calamitous state of education in Nigeria, which fostered frustration owing to government takeover of mission schools after the Nigerian Civil War, before Father Edeh established his schools. Chronicled in this paper are Father Edeh's establishment of 4 preschools and elementary schools, 5 high schools, the first non-government college of education, polytechnic, and university, as well as its establishment of a second university hereafter. The paper outlines the revolutionary role of schools, which combined discipline and scholarship brought peace to Nigerians and other benefiting nations, and by extension to the world. The paper highlights the uniqueness of Father Edeh schools in terms of their focus on all-round formation of the learners, intellectually, physically, and morally. It offers scholarships to the poor, among others, which have helped to build and sustain world peace. Finally, the paper discusses the role of Madonna International Charity Peace Award, an initiative of Father Edeh's Madonna University in promoting world peace. Now to the point. I go back to the opening remarks made by our own dear Dr. Sharon about the need for peace. And I allude to the discussion you had with a person in a hotel room, in a hotel reception, that felt that world peace is impossible. Thank you for making it clear that it's achievable. And that is why we are here. Oftentimes, people have thought of peace as absence of war. And whenever there is no war, people think there is peace. In other words, if we stand on that premise, we can as well say that when there is war, then there is no peace. That may be true, but not all there is about it. That may amount to half truth. The point is that even in absence of war, there could still be a lot of problems that deny man the peace of mind that man needs. I may not be at war with you, but I may have so many other either inter or intra-personal conflicts that rob me of peace. That's exactly why we are saying that peace is something that has to be pursued. Peace is something that has to be pursued. If I may go back to the scriptures, I know that in Psalm 34 verse 14 it says, "Seek peace and pursue it." And that appears to be exactly what our own dear Reverend Father Professor Edeh has done in the past 30 years. He has consistently sought peace, he has consistently pursued peace, and one of those areas he has done exactly that is within the areas of educational institutions in Nigeria. I may wish to take us a little along the memory lane. A good number of us here who are Nigerians probably were in the country by the time the Civil War ended. During the Civil War, we remember that all the missionaries who were running Catholic and other schools were asked to leave the country. They did. And that was followed up by seizure, I want to use the word seizure, of the various schools founded by missionaries by the state. That marked the beginning of crisis in education in Nigeria. There was, from that point, nothing again like moral instruction in schools. Schools became secular. A lot of vices started cropping up. Examination malpractice, cultism, and all manner of crimes reared their ugly heads and got almost institutionalized. That exactly was the point where we found ourselves by the time Reverend Father Professor Edeh came back from his church surgeon abroad. And coming back home, he discovered that what he saw, what he used to know, was no more there. So he asked himself, what should be done? And the answer came, the only way to remedy the situation is to go back to the basics. Let's see if we can establish new schools, since these people have taken over the ones established already, and start from the scratch to teach people the art of living together, the art of living for peace, the art of seeing peace as something that should be pursued, pursuing peace, and then getting peace. He started by establishing primary schools, or what we call elementary schools. I won't bore you with the details, they are there. And then from there he progressed to establishing the higher institutions, one of which happens to be the Madonna University that I am currently superintendent over. The first of the higher institutions was Osisa Polytechnic and Osisa College of Education. Those were established in 1992 in Edeh. Then there was practically no higher institution in Nigeria that was not owned by the government, so it was really difficult for him to go about it. It's a long story, but at the end of the day, being the person he has always been, he was able to overcome. The government gave approval for the establishment of those two institutions. Those were then followed by other institutions. Then the question is, why these schools? Why these schools? Like I've said before, the idea was essentially to reinvent, if I may use the word, the culture of peace. Education, we know, is a process that molds character. And the only way you can now get it right, the only way you can reinvent the peace that appeared to have been lost in the country was to establish such modern schools where you bring people of character, and then at the end of the day,